Hello, fabulous superstar Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of May 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Consultations are now available with me or Andy of Wise As Astrology over on my website, nadiyashah.com/consultations, links below. Two important phenomena are set to take place as soon as we start this month. The first takes place on the 2nd or 3rd of the month, depending on where you are on the planet, and that is Mars leaving shadow. And what that means is the larger Mars retrograde season that we've been in one form or another since early October. Well, this is where it comes to an end. It was back then, in early October of 2024, that Mars began to walk a path. In early December, began to retro back over the same path. And then in mid-February, went direct and began to move for a third pass over the exact same path. Well, that path in the sky, that sidewalk, that block, if you will, it is going to be, as we begin this month, that Mars is done with its third pass and we are in brand new territory, which means all systems go. But that's not all. On the 4th of the month, Pluto goes retro. Now, once Pluto goes retro, it means that it is the only planet that is retro for a good 2 months. It will be in July that we are going to have additional planets starting to go retro. Whenever it is that a planet goes retrograde, its energies turn inward, its energies become a lot more reflective, and it invites you to own that energy, to embody it that much more, and to understand the larger learning that you might have been in the midst of, but maybe didn't necessarily have a chance to pause and understand more deeply. Well, now here we are. It is Pluto going retro in a part of the sky that has to do with what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. It has to do with what it is that makes you happy, what brings you joy. It has to do with an understanding of fulfillment, especially creative fulfillment at that. And sometimes the children in your life are covered here as well. Pluto going retro invites you to go deep. It invites you to go within. It invites you to find a place within yourself so that you are more deeply honest about what needs to change within you so that you can align with genuine happiness. But it's also about acknowledging, being real with yourself as to what happiness actually is, what joy actually is, and where maybe you haven't been true to that part of you that knows what it is that you need. And so pace yourself as you navigate this time. A lot of really strong emotion is going to be stirring for a lot of us as we start this month. And yet there's going to be this shift of energy. There's going to be this appreciation. And you will understand that no longer are you looking outside of you for that happiness, that fulfillment, that joy, but you're understanding that it is a journey within yourself that is just as valuable as what might change in your external reality. Navigating forward on the 12th of the month, we will have this month's full moon. Now, this full moon happens in a financial part of your sky. When we have such strong financial energy, it means that the money you need is there. Sometimes you're engaging some spiritual lessons as part of having it come together. And this full moon, it really needed that preamble because it is opposite Uranus, which means it is a surprise a minute, it is a shock a minute. And this is an energy of extremes. Either developments will spring you to action in a way that excites you, that has you feeling as if so much is possible, or it has you springing into action in a way that feels daunting, but also has you feeling like anything is possible. Again, what you need is going to be there. Whether it is something you want, whether it is something you need. If it's about meeting an expense, you'll figure out a way to do that. If it's about how you're earning money and how you feel about it, and if you've been doing something that you just feel is not what it is that's worth doing for money, this is when those answers feel downright undeniable. If Uranus is anything, it is honest. And this is where you're getting honest with yourself. Now, lots of Libras are not going to experience this energy in the context of money, but rather in the context of healthy self-love and healthy self-esteem. What that looks like for you, well, you're going to see it very differently, in some cases in an instant. Now, just 5 days later, we are going to have what some astrologers call the most surprising day of the year, or the most shocking day of the year. Again, energy of extremes is what we're seeing here. This is the sun meeting Uranus in the sky, in the other financial part of the sky, having to do with wealth and your connection to, your relationship to banks and other financial institutions, and ability to access resources, including benefits. Outside of that, though, this is about change, truth, transformation, regeneration. And so, outside of finances, which is the case for many Libras, this is going to be a time of realizing where you're ready for a change to take place, what your truth is, and whatever it is that you've accepted in your life that's superficial, that gets in the way of you being truly you. This is ripping off a Band-Aid moment, getting rid of it as soon as you identify it. There will be, though, some Libras who experience this energy financially, and all this means is very quickly a matter might come up. You have to pay attention to it. You do, you meet the moment, and the moment passes and all is well. So it's important not to get too caught up in the external circumstance, but rather keep your focus on what the spiritual lesson at play is. On the 25th of the month, Saturn will move into your opposite sign. This gives you a taste of energy you'll delve into much more fully next year. But for now, Saturn dipping into this opposite sign for you is going to be here right to the later part of October. It is here that Saturn is going to have you getting honest about the one-on-one alliances in your life, business partnerships, professional alliances, and understand where another person ends and you begin. And it's about getting honest about who another person is. Now, the thing to keep in mind here is Saturn encourages you to take ownership for what's yours to take ownership in, and it encourages you to identify where work is to be done, where sacrifices are to be made, but also what sacrifices you've already made and are just not worth making anymore. All of that might stir for you at this time. Now, for all of that, though, we have here energies that might be challenging for some Libras, I will say, because it can feel like another person is acting like the boss of you when they're not, or because it can feel like you're having to make a difficult decision by accepting the truth of what another person is showing you. I'll talk more about this when we get to the love portion of this video, but just know right now you get a taste. Next year, this energy becomes a lot more immersive for about a 2-year period of time. All in all, you've got about 3 years of this energy to look forward to. The next day, on the 26th of the month, we will have this month's new moon, and this new moon takes place in fellow air sign Gemini, a worldly part of your sky, having to do with understanding your place in the world. This part of the sky is about long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters, but it's importantly about your understanding of your place in the world politically, philosophically, and also spiritually, like your religious beliefs, your religious associations are covered here. Now, this new moon opens up the world to you figuratively or literally in some way, brings new opportunities to pursue higher education, to have fortunate outcomes in legal matters, to find a way to redefine or at least refresh a more positive understanding of your relationship with the world. This is a very fortunate new moon speaking in supreme harmony with Pluto. That brings focus, transformative progress. We've got Neptune and Saturn speaking in harmony here, and Mercury is close in the sky, which does suggest good news all around that could find you. It's empowered news that allows a healthy focus. Where it comes to matters of love, there are two important energies I want to bring your attention to. So one is the most surprising day of the year, which happens on the 17th of the month. And that is the sun meeting Uranus. In addition to what I mentioned, that part of the sky has to do with vulnerability, intimacy, and the truth of another, and sharing your truth with another. This is also about sharing resources as well. And I see this part of the sky because it is about what stays and what goes, and you deciding, yeah, for some, this is going to involve the truth of what's really going on with another person and whether or not that works for you. This could be like ripping off a Band-Aid. When you're done, you are done. That's how strong this energy is. But here's the thing, Saturn moving into your opposite sign is huge, because that suggests the very beginning of a journey that only comes around about once every 3 decades. That's how rare it is to have Saturn moving through a particular sign, and in this case, moving through your opposite sign. Here, you get honest with yourself about what another person is showing you, about where you are in love and how you feel about it. But the big question with Saturn is always, can I keep doing this for the rest of my life? Can this go on forever? Can this go on for this entire incarnation or not? Now, your answers are going to be uniquely your own, whether they're patterns or whether it's a specific person. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, there could be mid-month the opportunity to have a moment, an exchange that feels very vulnerable, that feels like it comes out of nowhere. You learn a lot about yourself in the process. The thing is, there's not a lot of clarity as to long-term potential, even if you think there is mid-month. It is once Saturn moves into your opposite sign that you're having to get really honest about where you've been in love, where you are now, and how you feel about it. With Saturn in your opposite sign, you're wanting something long-term. You're playing the long game here. So it's up to you to decide how to navigate. But when Saturn is in your opposite sign, someone is there as part of this larger transit. And as soon as you get the lesson from one person, and as soon as energetically you let them go, someone else comes in. For those of you just starting to date someone, all of these energies to me say you're getting really honest with yourself about who this person is, how you feel about them. One thing to remember, especially with that Sun-Uranian energy mid-month, that person you're just getting to know, that person is not your therapist. You have to be very mindful of oversharing. And if they end up oversharing too, well, all of that could be a big part of the deal breaker. You learning way too much about them or them learning way too much about you. It's a turning point moment that's set to take place, and it can be very all or nothing now. For those of you in an established bond, the sun meeting Uranus, that can indicate changes to your partner's income or maybe just a bit of a roller coaster moment, but it's not really anything having to do directly with you. This could also be a real moment of vulnerability that brings the two of you closer together. But of course, this could also be learning something because your partner shares it that takes you aback or takes you by surprise. But for all that, it is set to be the energy of Saturn moving into your opposite sign that helps you to start a journey of understanding how committed you are to your partner or not, the reality of the relationship and whether or not it's working for you. Where relationships are good, they are about to go to a whole other deeper level of commitment and presence. But where it is that they're not, you're going to be able to see that a lot more clearly as part of figuring out the next best steps for you. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say, well, look, in addition to what I mentioned, let me just say on the 16th of the month, your ruling planet Venus leaves shadow in your opposite sign. Now that's wonderful for love and partnerships as well. There's just so much happening in your opposite sign. I think this is huge, I gotta tell you. But having Venus just leaving shadow means you are on brand new pathways. You are in brand new territory. But it's also about seeing partnerships differently. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I was telling you, and I've been telling you, with this Venus retrograde season, breakups that happen tend to not stay broken up in business, in love, or otherwise. Now, with Venus leaving shadow, you're able to more honestly evaluate how you feel about a particular person, whether they stay or they go. And where there's genuine sweetness and light, well, those alliances will grow stronger. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate over at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, links below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.